This is my math wall. This is my favorite saying about math. Math is wondering, playing, and amusing yourself with your imagination. On this wall, I post anchor charts for students who need that extra resource to go to. On this chart, we have what repeated addition looks like, what a multiplication sentence looks like, what a division sentence looks like. So when they are working on story problems and see that they need to write a repeated addition sentence or a multiplication sentence, those students that have short-term memory or other memory issues, they know that they may have to add, subtract, or divide, but they're not real sure what that repeated addition would look like or multiplication sentence, can look up, see what it looks like, and then they know what kind of sentence or equation that they need to write. I also have definitions. What is an array? It's an arrangement of objects. So again, if they have a assignment that says they need to make an array and they can't remember what the word array means, they got a resource to go to. Same thing if it's groups and size. As we're learning multiplication, they're often having trouble remembering what's groups or size. Another concept that's very difficult for many children, one of the misconceptions, what's the difference between rows and columns? So here's a visual that they can go to. Okay, rows. Rows go across, columns go down. The misconception is when they see that rows and they know that rows go across, they think that they need to count, all right, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows because rows go across, columns go down. But so that's a misconception and something that we consistently work on, and then they have a visual with a picture that lets them see what they need to count. And I always encourage them to circle their rows, and then they've got that visual to look at. Another anchor chart we've have developed is the name of the answer. We are learning that when you add and subtract, you get the sum. To find the difference, you subtract. If you're needing to find the product, you multiply. If you need to find the quotient, you divide. So we have examples of that. So I have used anchor charts for years, and those help those students with disabilities and even other struggling students. They don't have to memorize everything. They just need to have a resource to go to help them remember what they're being asked to do. So then over the years, that works great in the classroom, but if they have a homework assignment. This past week, I sent home a homework assignment, and they had to write the multiplication sentence, they had to write an addition sentence. And for some students, they seem to think that that is whatever we're studying. This week we're studying division sentences. So if it asked for multiplication, I had Manny to give a division sentence. So I decided we needed to have a math notebook. One of the things that we've talked about, and we often call this, is our Googling notebook. So we've started a table of contents. And as we learn a new strategy or terminology, we list it in our table of contents, write the page number we'll find it on, and then when they turn to that page number, they have examples of, they have the definition, they write what the definition of a row and column is, and they've drawn an example of that. We've done the same thing for repeated addition. They have an example of what that would look like. And we have the commutative property, and we also have the other division sentence, multiplication sentence. So this notebook is a resource for them that they will have and carry it back and forth to home. So if they're at home and they're working on a homework problem and they remember but they're confused exactly what that concept is, they have a resource to go to look back and, oh yeah, that's what that is. So these are some of the things that I use in class to help those students with disability, to help the struggling students. In fact, all the kids make one, and it's a resource for all of them. And I tell them it frees their brain up to learn so much more because they don't have to remember all of these terminologies. They've got a resource to go to. And with repeated use of these, they soon will be memorizing and learning what those terms are.